Cindy, welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm here today with day 3 of my October dailies. I'm going to just kind of either do a video for them or just show them to you before the other video that I'm planning to do. So today I'm actually planning to share my book haul with you from the book sale that I went to yesterday. So let's do the October dailies first. So this is my tag for Mab's Drawloween 2021 from Mab Graves. So it was Witch, and this morning I was kind of leafing through my old movie posters and stuff, and I had this image that I've actually snipped up and kind of collaged it, and I've been playing a lot with old words from like old books, and so I added belonged and frightened to these two, and they're in this graveyard kind of setting. It's a very spooky kind of tag. So that is that. And then for Pink Odd Birds October Daily, 3 was create a spooky ghost. So I wanted to do something kind of textural and fun, and I'm really loving these paper doll images from the I'm gonna butcher the name. Itkipulli is the first word, and I never know how to say it. Imaginarium on Etsy. And so these are her paper dolls back here. So I just inked them up and attached them down on some of my botanical printed paper that was very spooky and shadowy feeling. And then I also added some inking, and I added some vintage like antique lace. And then this whole thing is covered with some of that vellum photograph paper, and so it's like she's like trapped inside here, which I think speaks a little bit to like the whole idea of like a ghost and their soul being trapped. And then this is just another piece of the botanical paper that I put up top for like just a little bit of texture. So those are my dailies for today. So I'll put them over here. Then I'll talk to you about this book sale I went to. So in a nearby town called Eden Mills, they had a book sale yesterday, and I arrived there like about an hour before it closed, which I was kind of sad about because I thought, oh, the good stuff's going to be gone, you know, boo-hoo. But hold on. I have a whole box of books to share. So the one benefit of getting there at the very end was that, like, I guess the organizers they were doing this to raise money for the Eden Mills Writers Festival, I believe. So at the end of the day, like they had a lot of people donate books from probably all over a long time, whatever, that they've probably been storing. So then they had the venue set up like it was a community hall, so they probably just rented the venue for the day. So then they had to get rid of all the books like that they didn't sell, and there were like hundreds. There was just tables and tables and tables of books. It was really well organized. They had them by genre, which was great. And so yeah, at the end of the day, they were just like, we're not even counting, take whatever you can carry, it saves us from carrying it out. And they were all talking about like, well, where are you taking yours? And they were all talking about how they were taking them to different thrift stores. So we'd already made a generous donation. My father-in-law made a very generous donation. So I actually ended up getting all these books plus some books for reading in my library, which I won't share right here. And my in-laws got a whole box of books, and we got a whole box of books for our little free library. So it was pretty awesome, I have to say. So I'll share the creative ones with you that I think are, you know, interesting and fun. So this one is Quilt Art 22 under construction. I got a lot of great stuff out of the art and craft section. Tons of cool stuff. And where I'm studying a lot of like surface design, I'm really into like surface design right now, and textiles. This is going to be a nice little book to read and to just kind of study. And then I found this one, All About Birds. It's a nice old book. I like the cover a lot. I think that would be a really sweet journal, honestly, like a larger journal. And then the cover for it was inside. And actually, this looks like there's an old piece of cellophane tape. There's some on this actually too. These are kind of like little treasures to keep, little cellophane tapes. So I think I'll just set that aside. I think that's from like a different nature guide that maybe wasn't there when I was. Yeah, so All About Birds. It's a Robert S. Lemon, illustrated by Fritz Credell, or Credell. So nice illustrations. This is from, let's see, what year? 1955. Oh, and it's got a little plant inside. I always like finding little plants inside my books. So it's just like black and green images, but really nice. And what I really like about it is the big words, cutting up big words, because as you can tell from my October Daily, I'm using a lot of words. I really like, it just sort of sets like a tone, a message, a poem to whatever you're doing. And then I found this, an illustrated gardener's notebook for record keeping, gardening tips, and garden planning by Juliette Clark. It looks like it's had the front page torn out, or a page torn out, but it's got a lot of really nice, it's from 1992, and it's got a lot of nice papers in it, all gardeny, nature themed. So yeah, I'm really happy with that one. And then I got this one just for the cover. It's Gorin's New Contract Bridge Complete by Charles H. Gorin. I just liked this. I thought it'd be nice, like, for a journal cover. Somebody paid $2.95 for it before I got it, but it's got like all the, I guess, however you play bridge all inside of it, and it's got lots of like little diagrams, but honestly, I don't think I'll be using the inside at all. I'm probably going to just take it off now and store the cover, because I don't actually need it. But I'll keep these front pages because I love these. Yeah, and the rest can just be glue book or recycling. We'll see. I think I'll keep it for glue book. I've actually used up a lot of glue books. And then this one, I don't know. I think my daughter might have thrown it. Or no, she wasn't with me. I don't know how this got in my bag. I don't know. But it's the Frog Eating Electric Light Bug. Or no, I did actually decide to get it because it has illustrations. That's right. So it's a weird book, but it's got nice black and white illustrations. I didn't even realize I'd grabbed it. Like, I guess I just didn't remember the cover. But yeah. And then I found a Bella Grace magazine, Life's a Beautiful Journey. This is from Stampington and Company. So like these are very expensive magazines. In Canada, they sell for $21.99, and it's the December, January, February 2020 issue. And like, they're beautiful. They're beautiful inside. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it and then using it for things. And it's actually nice because like, you know, this season is coming up and it'll be a nice cozy read. Speaking of cozy, I also got this issue, which is the 2019. It just says 2019. I wonder if it used to be annual. The cozy issue of Bella Grace. And it's just like really nice. This has a real fall feel to it. So I'm probably going to spend some time with it. And then I got this one, Arts and Crafts. This is from the International World's Greatest Art series. There's a lot of these little square books in this series. Like there's one about architecture and like there's all different, but they've got really nice images in them that are great for all different kinds of journal themes. This one's got lots of arts and crafts, obviously, Art Nouveau type feeling things. And then this one, Color on Cloth, Create Stunning Effects with Dye on Fabric by Ruth Isett. And this is really nice. It's a fabric dyeing book. So this is just going in my library, my textile library, because it's nice to have this kind of information at hand. And then this one, Carmana, Artistic Visions of an Ancient Rainforest. So beautiful. I actually have something in mind for some of this, a project that I'm working on for someone. And it's just lots of beautiful, like, images and writing about rainforests by different conservationists, and lots of beautiful art. Yeah. And then I found this book, The World of Trisha Romance. So Trisha Romance is like a really interesting and neat. I was trying to see, is this attached? Is it a postcard? There were 2 copies of this here, so I don't know. I mean, this is a really nice book. It was a $50 book, and she's a really beautiful illustrator. Like, she does a lot of amazing paintings of houses and, you know, just lots of landscape and domestic kinds of scenes, and just really good for journaling. Yeah. And then this one is a book about Point Pelee, and it's got some beautiful photography in it. Lots of beautiful photography. And then Betty Davis, her films and career. And I just love all the old photography. It's just a lot of beautiful photos. And then The Best of Friends, classic illustrations of children and animals. And this is just full of absolutely beautiful old illustrations. Perfect for making journal cards or for the front of a journal. And then this one, Orsay, Masterpieces of 19th Century Art. This has a lot of cool, like, architecture, photography, art, just all different kinds of stuff. Lots of beautiful art. And then a total score, I got the repro of the 1897 Sears Roebuck & Co. catalog. So I was happy to find them. I'm always happy to find these. They are always so great to find. And this has like a chapter's like receipt in it from 2009. I guess that's the person who originally bought this book. So yeah, interesting. Kind of makes you wonder, like, why people buy the things that they do. But yeah, really cool. And then I found another little Trisha Romance book called A Celebration of Life, and it has just more amazing paintings in it. They had like so many Trisha Romance books, but like I was trying to keep myself, you know, under control here. Yes, I think this is from a gallery that framed her work or something. Yeah, from Waterloo, Ontario. And then I found a Carousel magazine, and it's just a nice artsy magazine that I'm looking forward to reading. I always love reading art magazines. And then, you know, looks like someone cut some stuff out here. Oh, these were like cutouts, I think, maybe. Maybe not. It's kind of just a random cut there. Though it's just in the back where the contributors are. I wonder if they were just cutting out, maybe there was a mention of their name or something at the back, but that seems to be the only thing that's been cut. So I can still read it before I cut it up. And then this one, the Uffizi, all paintings in 696 illustrations and the Vasari corridor. So lots of old masters kind of art. And then this one, Villa Borghese, I'm not sure, I don't speak Italian. But yeah, more beautiful masters. Lots of sculpture in this one. But there's just some really like nice pages too. Like, be really good for doing kind of like Midori feeling work. And then this I actually found not at the book sale. So this is actually separate from my like essentially free boxes of books. This was $3 at the thrift store near that I always go to. And I picked it up. I actually already have this book, but I got another copy of it because it was $3. And this book is a special edition and it's like a really awesome book. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Yeah, to be determined. And then this one, Surfaces for Stitch, Plastics, Film, and Fabric, has me very excited. Lots of cool, like, textile technique. It's really making me think about this idea I had, like, to work through a book and do videos. So, yeah, that's in the plan. I actually have 2 books at the back of my desk that I wanted to start a series of those things on, like work through a book and then like choose a book and like just do all the projects that inspire me. And then, yeah. My husband actually found this one. I'd already been through the full book sale and then he came in and he wanted to do a little look around while his parents stayed with the kiddos. And he said, hey, oh, excuse me, did you see this one? I said, no. And yeah, look at this. How did I miss this? How did I miss this? This is so gorgeous. Thank goodness for him. And then I found this one, Yesterday's Toronto, 1870 to 1910. So it's like old Toronto, like, photographs. And I just really love the old photography. I mean, there's a lot of really charming stuff in here. Also a lot of like nice big words and just fun kind of photos. Victorian kind of photography. All color book of Art Nouveau. Nice cover. What's this? It's a tulip cone lampshade. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Tiffany style lamp. Some mail to a woman in terracotta. The Credit Valley Artisans Newsletter, April 1985. I wonder if they're still together. I'm so craving to do like group creative stuff again, like doing a raku firing in the fall outside. I used to love doing that before the whole panini started. Okay, so there's a drawing. So yeah, just some kind of personal cool ephemera in this book too. I didn't even realize. But yeah, anyways, this is a beautiful book with lots of amazing Art Nouveau. Lots of nice stuff in there. And then I found this one that I just got for the cover. Really love the embossing. It is In Search of Ireland. A nice green book. Map. Nice old photo. This is from, I get a copyright date here, 1931. I don't know if it has much more in it. Oh, I think it has some photos randomly here. Let's see here. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so it looks like it's got some photos throughout it. Like some double spreads. Really nice. Yeah. And then this, actually, this is the Audubon Nature Encyclopedia. And there were 2 volumes of it, so I grabbed them. Just because they're really nice inside. Like, the illustrations are really nice. They're more illustrated than they are photography. There's a lot of illustration, which I love. Like, I don't like things that just have tons and tons of photography. I love illustration, and that's really what I'm always looking for in books that I try to use in journals, is like I prefer illustration. So yeah, this one has lots of nice little illustrations. Then this book comes inside this old sleeve, and it just says 1920 on back, and Katharina Gunther Blumenthal. It's like a German, I think German book. Very old feeling. Someone stuck a sticker here like a long time ago. I love this old paper though. It's really cool. There's another, maybe, I don't know, that's not a sticker. I don't know if it's meant to be there or not, but these were gilded edges. I don't know if you can tell, but why I got it, like, it's just, I love this whole font. Like, the typeface is really nice, and I think it would be really pretty in collage. So that's that one. I'm guessing this is probably a religious book, but who knows. And then the other book that did not come from the book sale, that came from the thrift store and was also $3, is this one, Have You Heard the Cricket Song? And it's just a lovely book. I love this chartreuse color of the book. I think it would be a nice journal, but first I'm going to read it. I mean, it's just a really pretty naturalist kind of book. And then I have to look it up and just see, like, what it's worth and that kind of thing. I don't know. But also, it may end up staying in my library. I tend to keep kind of naturalist, conservationalist books. And then this one, The Little Prince, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Look at that cute cover of The Little Prince. So I grabbed that because it's just really sweet, and it's got illustrations throughout, and obviously the whole story of the Little Prince. And yeah, it's a nice, I think it would be a nice journal. Very cute. And then Christmas Past. Now, I don't do a ton of Christmas journals, but I was thinking about maybe doing one. I don't know. I love this book, though. It's got a lot of lovely old illustrations and photos. Like, really, really nice stuff. This really cute, like, images. Lots of kiddos. It's also a little bit different, which is nice. Then, this book, I don't know, The Blasted Pine, an anthology of satire, invective, and disrespectful verse by Canadian writers. So I have no idea what to expect with this book. It just, it looked kind of funny to me, and so I'll probably look at it a little bit. It's got some probably offensive poetry in it. We'll see. We'll see. Then this little book has this little lamp here, The Skin of Our Teeth it's called. And I just grabbed it because it was like sitting on a table and it was the end of the day and I was like, I've got room for this little book, and it's a little old book. The Skin of Our Teeth, and it's been colored in here, from 1958. So it's verses, it's like a play, I guess. So okay, and then last but not least, this giant The Art of Robert Bateman. They had like 5 copies of this and the green version that's like similar to it. I see these books all the time, I really do. This one's actually signed by Robert Bateman. That's kind of cool. But I got it because like his work, his nature art is really nice. You know, it's just really nice for nature-y kind of journals. I love the loons, little bunny. Just beautiful nature. So yeah, that is my big, huge haul from the book sale that I did not anticipate. Needless to say, I'm going to be doing a lot of like creating like from books and stuff. I'm trying to just purposely downsize a bit because I have gotten a few thrift hauls lately. So what I spent some time doing this morning actually was making tags from scraps and adding like a little focal point. So this is just what I've been making this morning. Just collage tags so that I can use up my scrap paper from my scrap bin. And I pulled apart a big Birds of Canada bird book, and I'm just going to make a bunch of bird ephemera, I think. So yeah, that's the next thing that I'm sort of working on, along with the other things that I'm working on, the Monster Poems journal. I did get some work done on that. I have a little bit more to go. I'm just choosing the signatures, but yeah, so we're at 30 minutes now. I will probably call it a video and do a little bit more work maybe. So yeah. Although I guess I could collage a bit with you here if you want to hang around. We could do some collaging. Let's just do that. Where is my book? So I've been using this Pathfinder annual for Boy Scouts, these pages, for all sorts of stuff, including what I'm doing now, making these collage pages. So I just take a strip off of the top here. It's just kind of a lazy Sunday today, which I'm okay with. I had a bit of a busy day yesterday, so we went to the book sale. We went on like a little kind of road trip to thrift stores and took a big long walk in the graveyard. Sorry, I'm just pulling my scrap bin back up here. But yeah, we took a long walk and it was nice. And I found a really funny tree, like a tree stump. And my dog he's really such a sport. He's a Chihuahua. And they had, the tree had like one of those like stump holes in it. And I stuck him inside there to take his picture. And he was so funny. He just acted like he was totally no problems in the whole world. He was just cool with it. He's a good sport. And we saw a frog in the little pond that's at the graveyard that we walk at. That was nice. There we go. Just going to put these useful strips up here. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely time that I start doing some scrap use up kind of stuff, because my scraps are getting crazy. I always think it's a great idea that Gail Agostinelli has to have like her scrappy Saturday that she does every week, because like it's a really great way of like keeping your scraps under control. I don't organize mine like she does hers. I don't bother. I just kind of, I mean, it would be easier for sure to have them in all these organized bins and stuff, but I don't do that. I don't have time. Not to say that, you know, she does either, but I just never materialize the time. I had a super annoying day this afternoon because I went to my office because I had to do some printing and some scanning, and our whole printer network is down, and I'm like, no. Drive all the way there for no reason. Oh, so many scraps. This is like old yearbooks. I don't think I will use this for anything really. I mean, you know what might be kind of fun is to like cut out, like fussy cut these people and put them in fun situations. Maybe I'll do that. I actually have like a couple plans like that with some birds that I have hanging around. Sometimes I do this thing though where I just get like one idea that morphs into several others, and then I just like overwhelm myself with so many things that I want to do. I still haven't found that benefactor who will just let me do my art full time, but if I ever find that person, life will be better overall. Okay. This tissue, sewing tissue. What else do I have to report on? Not a whole lot. It's been kind of, I don't know, an uneventful sort of week, which I'm happy for because last week was just exhausting. But I do have like a ton of work I'm going to have to do this week. And our province has started to do the vaccine passport checks. So I did one yesterday at the book sale. It was no big deal. Easy peasy. Also, the guy who was working there gave me a really great idea about like how to quickly access your vaccine record, which is like make it the background screen on your phone. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I'll do that. So I've done that now, and it's kind of nice. I just access it with a password and it's right there. I don't got to search through my files or my photos or whatever, however I save it. Remember that map? Trying to just get like decisive with my scraps because like I have too many. Too many. Okay. You know, like sometimes I just keep things that make no sense. Alright, so that is quite covered. Maybe one more thing. To just break up. Yeah. So quiet in my house. I think my children must be asleep up there. This paper is cabbage dyed. Can you believe that? It was some kind of weird, like, shiny paper that was in like a calendar book, and like it just, I don't know if it was the kind of paper, but it just took on the deepest blue. It was amazing. So now we've got that done. I'm going to chop this into pieces. Cut the excess bits off here on the edges. And I typically get about 3 tags per sheet of this paper. Okay. Let's make sure everything is down. Good. Now, birds. We need birds because these are going to be my bird tags. Yeah, I think down there would be good for that one. Okay, I'm going to choose a bird for each one, and then I'll choose some other things too, once I get all the birds on. saw lots of bird watchers yesterday when we were out driving, and we drove through Guelph, and they were having one of those catch a killer kind of what is it? Like there's like you can get a subscription box called Catch a Killer, and it's like a kind of a crime, like a true crime sort of investigation kind of box. So there were all sorts of people out yesterday participating in, like, looked like a scavenger hunt, but then my husband looked up to see like what's going on in Guelph today, because there were people dressed in like really cool costumes, like steampunk themes and like all sorts of neat stuff. So we were curious about it. It sounded like a lot of fun. It's nice to see people out in kind of like little bubbles doing these kind of things. It's good. Okay, so there we go. We got 3 birdie tags now. Let's cut them into tags maybe. Actually, I'll back them first. I'll back them and then we'll cut them and then decide what else needs to go on them. I felt so like totally out of place at the thrift store yesterday after the big book haul. I didn't even really look at books a whole lot. I was like, I do not need any more books. Oh my goodness. But I mean, that was true before the book sale, to be honest. I need to get rid of books. But that's the nature of what I do, kind of, to have like the variety of supplies. I need the variety of supplies to make cool stuff. What else was I doing? I watched this morning. I actually woke up around 4:30 in the morning and I wasn't tired anymore, so I just got up and I worked on some stuff down in the studio. I like got a bit done for the Monster Poems journal, and then I was watching on Amazon Prime, I was watching the LuLaRich documentary, which is amazing. If you've never heard or you don't know what that is, it's basically a documentary that covers this pyramid scheme called LuLaRoe. I'm sure if you're American, you've heard of LuLaRoe because it was such a American craze a while ago. But thankfully now is wearing down. It was like all these women selling these like fast fashion kind of clothes, like polyester, like dresses, and I mean all different styles of like highly patterned clothing. You probably have seen them in your Facebook feed at some point if you're on Facebook. So that's where they facilitated the majority of their ability to do business, was through Facebook Live. And it just essentially covers how pyramid schemes work, and that only the people at the top really make money, and that the owners are actually pretty terrible people who took advantage of a lot of women, mostly mostly mothers, stay-at-home mothers, single mothers, military wives, all sorts of mothers that were just looking to contribute to their families, and ended up finding themselves in a very cult-like atmosphere and being guided in really financially devastating ways to make a lot of financial mistakes that really just devastated their family's income. So it's a pretty powerful documentary that gets to the truth of the whole empire. For years now, I actually followed this story before this documentary. Like, I had joined a group, because a friend of mine, like one of her family members started to sell it, and at some point she reached out to me, and I'm a very anti-MLM person. I can't stand that kind of thing. It's just not my thing. It feels very weird to be approached by a friend trying to sell me things. I'm just not into that at all. So that being said, I started to look into the company more and more, and I was just dumbfounded at what I was seeing that people were doing, like buying. Like, you had to spend $5,000 to kind of onboard intake into this company, and then from there you just had to keep buying more and more stuff, and like you were stuck with it if you didn't sell it. So pretty scary. And I really feel for the women who thought that they were going to be successful because of everything they were told, and then that's just not how things go down in an MLM. So I like this brown mushroom. Maybe oops. This, I just like adding these little bits and bobs at the end of putting the tag together. It's maybe my favorite part of the whole process. What else have I been watching other than kids' TV? Oh, that's most of what I watch. I'm a very enthralling person to have a conversation with. I did see this really funny TikTok video, though, that was like, so my kids don't watch it, but I guess there's some kids program called Cocomelon, and I think it started out on YouTube, I believe, and they got a Netflix deal because they're on Netflix now. So it was this funny TikTok challenge, like when your child is in another room, turn on the Cocomelon theme song and see what happens. And it was like a side-by-side of these two women, like two moms and their kids. Like they're sitting at the bottom of a staircase, basically, the moms, and their kids are obviously like in their bedrooms or something. And I thought that was just a little piece of paper. I thought that was a bug for a minute. Oh my gosh. So all of a sudden, like, you see on each case of stairs, these two little girls just come plunking on their butts down the stairs when they hear the Cocomelon song. And it was very cute. I swear, though, children's programming nowadays, it's not like when I was a kid. It's so much more. First of all, it's often a lot more educational, but for the young kids, it's so engaging. Like, it's like to what kids like the music and the colors, and just it puts them in a trance, so much so that I don't let my kids watch too much of it, because it kind of makes me feel like they're in that, like, they used to say that, you know, when you watch TV, that your brain is in this mode that's just like right above sleeping, right? It's almost like a trance state. So I always think about that. I don't even know if it's true, but I always think about it when my kids are watching TV, and I'm like, I don't want too much of this. And then this morning, actually, when I got up really early, I watched on Amazon Prime again another documentary called Kid 90, 90s Kid, or Kid 90, I think. Anyways, it's the story, remember Punky Brewster? So that girl, her name is Soleil Moon Frye. She actually, after, you know, Punky Brewster, when she was a kid, she went on. I mean, we all know that kids in Hollywood usually just have these really sad, unfortunate, you know, times after, like when you peak young, right? And when you're in an adult industry, like as is Hollywood, that it's really hard for them to kind of figure things out. So I guess when she became a teenager, she was really into having a camera all the time. It was like the thing that made her continue to feel like an artist. So she she's done this documentary, or she's the subject of this documentary, and basically she talks about how you know, when she was a kid, like if any of you watched Punky Brewster, you know, she was the kind of kid that was just really like a rough and tumble tomboy, kind of fun, like, you know, I think a lot of people, like, she's like the ideal kind of kid when you think of a kid. And so after that show ended, she was like, you know, approaching teenagehood. And so I share this experience with her, that she was basically like a quick bloomer. And she talked about, you know, basically being jolted from being like this, you know, quintessential everyone's child, to like being treated like a woman, like, you know, very quickly. So she talked about her breasts. She actually talked about, you know, going from you know, being like a size A to past a double D to, you know, an E. So she had a very large breasts, and she basically didn't know how to deal with that. Suddenly men were treating her differently. They were pinching her bum. She was experiencing a lot of, you know, harassment in Hollywood, and she also wasn't getting cast for things. And they talked with a lot of other child stars that were like her age group, and, you know, they said, yeah, like, these are hard things for kids to digest. Like, when you don't get a part and you ask why, and they say, oh, they didn't like your look, and you're like, oh, great, I'm gonna go and try to digest that for a while. You know, you're a kid, right? Like, this kind of stuff is hard. So it was kind of sad, because it followed her journey to getting like plastic surgery, a breast reduction, at the age of like 16 or something. And she, you know, was really confident about her choice, but now she reflects on it and she's just like, ugh, you know, I'm so frustrated that I, you know, was in that position to begin with. And so basically she ends up like being this girl with a camera, and she captures a lot of interesting footage of all the kids at that time that were in Hollywood, and like the ones that sort of started early and like where they ended up going. And you know, some of it is sad. She was best friends. In fact, Jonathan Brandis was like in love with her. They were the best of friends. He unfortunately killed himself. And she talked about how, you know, back then, I think she blames herself a little bit, which I hope she gets therapy for that, because it's not her fault. She talks about how she feels like a lot of her friends were reaching out and asking for help, but she wasn't seeing it. You know, she was too naive to understand it. But I mean, that's true for most of us, I would say, and definitely for kids. That's no one's fault, and it's not easy to deal with that kind of stuff. So you know, she basically has footage from a lot of interesting times where, you know, it wouldn't have existed, and a lot of people are interviewed, and, you know, she talks about how, like, I think she was a little traumatized by having to grow up so quick, so she, like, you know, maintained her virginity like for as long as she kind of wanted to, until unfortunately she was assaulted. And, you know, it's just that sad story. But like, I think, you know, she reconnects. Like, she talks about all of like some of the guys that she dated, including like Danny Boy from House of Pain. Like, she ends up reconnecting with him. And I mean, it was really insightful into what was going on at that time, like in the 90s, because like, for me, I was like a young adult in the 90s, and you know, so I was watching all this stuff. I was an 80s, you know, kid, and like yeah, I know all the people in the documentary, and it's just kind of insightful to see what they were going through. And yep, hard time for a lot of kids. But it's a good documentary. If you're interested in that kind of thing, I recommend it definitely. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's called Kid 90 or 90 Kid. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Kid 90. But she has like tons of footage. Like, and they've been like locked up. Like, it was like an archive that she just kind of came out with, and she's, you know, presented it to like a lot of the kids at that time, like, that, you know, she worked with. And But she's successful, and she went on to go to school, and she, you know, figured it out. I think she understood a lot of the things that, you know, sometimes like we get stuck in these myths about things like beauty and virginity and sanctity and all of those kind of things that like aren't true. You know, like your worth is not based in any of those things. And I think it would be nice that kids learn that, like all kids, as soon as possible, that like you're worth a lot more than those things. But yeah, I think she does know that now. So yeah. Anyways, that's just my chit chat about what I've been watching. So we finished 3 tags. We're done 3 tags, and I'm really happy with them. So yeah, use up some scraps. Do some scrap with me, because we all need to get rid of our paper scraps and make beautiful things, and use up birds, because birds are beautiful. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you liked the magical book haul, and I hope you find a magical book haul of your own. And until next time, we will talk soon. All right, bye for now.